Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here, and it's Wednesday. We're doing a Wow Wednesday. Wow! Because CEBL finished up their season this Sunday, and we have a Raptors 905 champion on the CEBL, Omari Moore. Omari Moore, of course, has been in the 905 system for over a year now. And honestly, I'll say this last year, there have been times where I was watching 905 and I was like, man, all these guys are garbage except for Amari Moore. I was like, yeah, get rid of all these guys except for Moore because I want to see more. Because to be honest, out of all those guys down there, I see the most potential for him to actually play in the NBA. I'm not lying. In some ways, we saw it at Summer League. He's got a very, very good wingspan for his body. See, a lot of the times when I'm critical of people and saying you're not going to make the NBA, it's because I know the physical parameters that make somebody successful and being able to play at that level. And there's a lot of jokers run around in the G League. They're very talented players. They're hoopers like JFL and know how to score, but they don't know how to score against a bigger and better and faster NBA. And that is why I gauge guys on certain things. I'm like, you know what? It's another good example, J.D. Davison of the Celtics system. He's a great hooper. He's an amazing college player. He can do all kinds of good scoring stuff, but he's not going to translate in the NBA because he's too small. It's just the way it is. Now, Amari Moore has enough height and wingspan and ability to make the NBA. And the reason why I say this is because I've seen the young man work really, really hard at 905. Now, last season for him, it was marred with some injury. He did have some injuries in the middle of the 905 season, and they happened to coincide with everybody else's injuries, like Marquise Noel going out with the quad injury, people like McCurr, who was in and out of the lineup. You know, that was a lot of the problem for 905 last year is they had a lot of injuries also, not to mention the coach issue. But Omari Moore, when he was out, it was sad. But when he came back, he started slow, but then boom, he was kicking butt right around the time when Redacted, his name is not going to be said here because of a gambling scandal, started doing really well in the 905, was right around when Omari Moore started stepping up and doing really well on the 905 last season. The thing about Omari that I like is it's a combination of how quick he is on his feet getting around. He's as quick as a guard, but he's got a forward's wingspan. And that is the thing that will get him in this league. He can't rely on being an offensive player. In some ways, that's not what's going to get him in the league. What's going to get him in his league is his defense. Now, the thing is, Omar, you're going to need to make your threes and score when you can when those opportunities come up. But otherwise, man, if you can play really, really solid defense and be a known defensive kind of guy, you could make your way there. I'm telling you right now. That Summer League, that's kind of primarily what he did. He didn't put a lot of scoring on display. So maybe he went under the radar to the casual newer fans that overvalue offense and three-point shooting. Well, Amari Moore was one of the best players in some ways at Summer League because his effort, his defense, his energy was really good. I'm not going to lie. He was all over the place. He may not have scored a lot, but he looked good at times. He had some amazing steals, and he had some very, very incredible athletic displays on defense. It was like, wow, he actually came around and stole that, or wow, he actually blocked that from behind. A little bit of that kind of stuff. So Omari's having a great summer. I mean, let's look at his summer. He got invited to go to Raptors summer league, and in some ways, that's not always common. Last year, Daryl Morsell was the holdover from 905 year before to last year. And, well, Amari Moore's that guy this year. In some ways, I don't know the rules about G League, but maybe Luke Wynn has to designate, this is the guy we're holding on to no matter what, and we're going to reinvest with him coming back. Miles Burns will be back also, being a draft pick in the 905 system. But Omari Moore is the guy who kind of was out of all the 905 guys last year. It's like, you know what? This guy's got promise. We're going to hold on to him and bring him back next year. And that's basically what's happened with him. Summer League, he looked good to me. He had some very good defensive plays. Now, the summer of dreams for Amari continues. I did not realize that he was still on the Niagara River Lions for the CEBL. that this is a team he played for last summer too. This is like he's kind of double dutying 905 and the CBL the last couple years. And that's great that the Niagara team allowed Omari to go and play in the Raptors Summer League because it's right in the middle of the CBL season. And that in some ways, them saying, yeah, you know what, we understand this is a development lead for Canadians to get to the NBA, and we don't want to hold you back. That if you want to go to Raptors Summer League, even if it might hurt our championship chances, well, it didn't. We will let you go and come back. Well, maybe, who knows? Maybe he went to Summer League, felt really buoyed by the energy of being around that and coming back and brought it to Niagara River Lions, and they kicked some ass. And they did it, and they won. That's awesome. Like I said, that trophy's badass. Omari Moore is a CEBL champion as of this week, and we're celebrating him for that. And I'm sure let's let Omari continue this wave of good, great stuff happening right on into the next season. I want to see you have some new success on the 905 with Coach Andrew Jones, Omari Moore. I want to see you strive to get to the big team. Yeah. I mean, this is totally possible by the end of the year. Who knows what could go on with the Raptors? We've seen last year how everything went crazy, and 905ers were getting called up like crazy last year. So I don't know. Keep that work hard and keep going, Omari, because you could find yourself a full-fledged Raptor in the next couple of years if you keep going, my guy. But yeah, I'm fully rooting for him. I wonder why Omari Moore is an American. Some people have been confused about this. He's born in the United States. He's American. But in some ways, he's an honorary Canadian now, playing in Mississauga, playing in Niagara, being very comfortable up here. I think he does have family up here, and he does have very much ties here in this country. So it's not totally foreign to him. But yeah, I'm expecting bigger and better things from Omari Moore going forward in his life in the next couple of years. I want to see you strive to achieve and get to that big club. I want to see you strive to achieve accomplishments on the 905, like helping them win a lot and maybe get a G League championship. Omari, I put this on you, my guy. You're a CEBL champion as of this week. Why don't you go get a G League championship this year too? Yeah, you might have a better team to help you do it than the one you had last year. Let's just put it that way. There's some reinforcements from the second day of the draft this summer, and they're coming to help you. Shamshay. So we celebrate Omari Moore, an unsung hero in the Raptors organization, somebody that I feel like I want to put on blast for a day. Because in some ways, some of these guys that are toiling on the 905, they just don't get as much attention around in different places. Well, this is the week and the day on a Wow Wednesday to celebrate Omari because, man, you're a champion, bro. You're a CEBL champion, a Canadian Elite Basketball League champion. And we are proud of you. Raptors Nation is proud of you, Omari. So I hope you'll watch this, my guy. I really do. And I'm wishing you all the best this year under Coach Andrew Jones with the Raptors 905 in Mississauga. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm excited about y'all. Seriously, you've got Mobo coming. You've got Shed, man. You've got Carlson. Look out. Look out. You guys have restocked the shelves in the coffers, and you are ready to come back next year with a vengeance. And I'm here for it. I am totally here for it. So, Omari, what a great summer. It's like Delano had a fantastic summer 2 summers ago. Omari Moore's having the best summer in some ways now. Yeah, so we're going to celebrate Omari. Yeah, there you go. There's my little spiel about Omari Moore, CEBL champion. Yeah, he's a CEBL champion. Trevor J's here, first in the chat this morning. I have to apologize. I had a really crazy morning already, and I got to the stream late, so I'm not totally prepared. I didn't open all my tabs. So there may be a little bit of opening tabs while we're doing the stream right now. So Trevor J saying, good morning, Raptors family. 3 simple rules in life. Number 1, if you don't go after what you want, you will never have it. Okay. All right, Trevor. Number 2, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. Okay. Yeah, I've heard that one. Number 3, if you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. Progress is interesting. You do want to make progress. In some ways, in some ways, I'm in a rebel mode. I'm like, the whole mechanism of capitalism is to motivate the worker to push the cogs of the machine forward. It's not the fat cats on the top that collect all the spoils. In some ways, I would say this: motivation and lighting a fire under people's asses to go do things. Well, some of that is just a weapon of capitalism to motivate the masses to exploit them, to make money off them. So I don't totally agree with all this. In some ways, I am a big believer in stasis and existing. And just like, because a tree or a flower's out there in the yard, they just exist in nature. Do they have to have a job? No, they don't. Do they have to go and try and do this? No, they don't. This is a natural state. And in some ways, humans are the same way if we really get back to our natural state. And in some ways, it's just a big fucking scam, is what they're trying to say, to motivate, prod you. I mean, I know you got to have basic things like your housing and your food and stuff like that. Yes, do that kind of stuff for sure. Take care of yourself. But in some ways, the way they try and light a fire under our ass to go do things like this, it's all one big, huge scam, Trevor. But it's a game that you have to play to survive in this world. So I want everybody to understand that part of it, and you do as you have to make sure you survive. How about that? But don't feel bad if you're not moving forward. But don't feel bad if you're not lighting a fire on your ass and going to do all this or not. You don't have to have the motivation that they tell you that you have to have. It's all a big scam. That's what I would say to that. Now, yeah, if you want a boat, if you want this, you want that in your life, yeah, go out there and achieve and get it. But don't fall for this bullshit that you have to keep up with the Joneses just because they're doing things like that. That's the other thing. They're always like motivating people. It's like, look at what the neighbors got, honey. They got a new car. Oh, do we have to get a new car now, honey? No, none of this bullshit. It's not a race. Just exist. You're a human. You're a natural being on this earth, just like a squirrel or a tree. And in some ways, they've fooled us into thinking we're more than that. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's go. Trevor J saying Raptors now know their dates. Know their dates. Now know their dates. Okay, I see what you did there. It's just a little off. For the NBA Cup, I wish we could play today. Yeah, I'm excited for the NBA season. I know we're about 50 days away from preseason in Montreal against the Wizards. Yeah, they released the in-season tournament schedule. I looked at it. We're going to play in Miami and Milwaukee, and the home games will be against Indiana and Detroit. So I'm pretty sure the Detroit in-season tournament game will probably most likely be a W for us. I hope. I really, really hope. Last year we got one in-season tournament win over the Bulls, which was great. It felt good. Well, this year, let's go for two. And I would say the easiest one is obviously Detroit in Toronto. The Indiana game may be the next easiest one, just because we've played Indiana very well in the last couple years, although Siakam is on their team now. But the Miami game in Miami, that's going to be tough. And Milwaukee, obviously, is going to have its challenges also. So, yeah, I will say this also about the in-season tournament schedule. I like that they didn't put us so far back in the schedule. Last year, when they did this for the first time, the Raptors didn't get to play an in-season tournaments a game until after everybody else had. And I felt bad. That was wrong. That was honestly wrong. And then they crammed a bunch of our games at the very end of the in-season tournament schedule. So I looked at that very closely when it came out to see how they spaced out our in-season tournament games. And it seems pretty good. It seems pretty like everybody else for the most part. Now, the one thing I will say is Miami Heat finished their in-season tournament schedule first in our Group B. And, I'm going to look for anything that's kind of fishy in some ways. And any kind of fishiness, of course, we do not get a national televised in-season tournament game. There are two teams in our bracket that will, and that's Milwaukee and Indiana will be broadcast on national television when they play each other. Detroit will not get one. I think Miami gets one with Milwaukee also on NBA TV. So it is what it is. In some ways, we've got to earn the national television stuff again. We got to earn a Christmas Day game. Not that we really care about that. But, yeah, we got to earn all that stuff back again because in the eyes of the league, we're bottom dwellers, and we don't deserve to be shown on national television. So in some ways, they announced yesterday also that the full NBA schedule will come out tomorrow around 3 p.m. And I'm fully expecting the Raptors may have two national televised games the whole entire year. And they're probably going to be on NBA TV and nowhere near ESPN or TNT. And that's just how it is. It is what it is. In some ways, I say, Scott, get us relevant again. Go out there and kick so much butt like Vince Carter did 25 years ago that they cannot ignore us. And you are the man that will do that with your broad shoulders carrying us to that. So, Scotty, you want us on national television. It's in your hands, bro. Go out there and get it done. You get it relevant and make it that happen. Make it so, my good man. Make it so. Yeah. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying this morning. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Just remember, trees don't hand around with the grass, even though they came from the same place. Let's grow. Wait. You say just remember, trees don't hang around with the grass, even though they came from the same place. Let's grow. Yeah, they do though. I'm sure they talk to each other. I really do believe there's an unspoken language through most living things on this planet that we just don't perceive because we're humans and we don't hear it. We don't see how they communicate. In fact, a lot of plants and trees communicate through mycelium, which is a fungal network underneath the ground, and they actually transfer resources amongst each other in different ways to help each other. Now, I don't know how much the grass is on the mycelium network with the trees, but I wouldn't doubt that they are connected. So I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're making an analogy about growing at different lengths, well, we don't need to compete. That's the other, once again, another lie they told us that you're supposed to compete with everybody else around you. That is what fuels capitalism and makes people make really horrible decisions against humankind. And in some ways, once again, I'll echo it more and more. People over profits. How about that? People over profits. Let's get back to a more naturalistic way of living and thinking about things and cut the competition out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cut the competition out. Let people live their life, and they don't have to try and compete with each other. If a tree competes with the grass to get higher, well, that's just the natural growth span of the tree. Cowboys here. Good to see Cowboy. All right, let's see. There's a bunch of good emoticon faces. Is that Jonathan Mobo in there? I see Jonathan Mobo on the chat in the emoticon faces. We see Masai. We got Darko. We got Jomo. We got, is that Jacoby or Davion Mitchell? I'm not sure. There's Jamal Shed. There's Ulrich Shumshay. And there's Brendan Carlson. So it looks like it's a good group of our youngsters that have just came to the team. And there's myself, too. There you go. Yeah, great job, Omari Moore. Yeah, we're proud of Omari. He's a CEBL champion to get that championship. Of course, Niagara is the CEBL champions this year. Last year, was Scarborough was the champ last year. Yeah, CEBL. I like that they finished their season now because in some ways they want to allow all the players in the CBL a chance to try and make NBA training camps. And in some ways, if their season went too far into the fall, it may hurt some of these guys' chances to try and get in with an NBA team somewhere or on a G League team for that matter also. Yeah, congratulations to Omari. Cowboys saying November the 12th, the Bucks are going down. We back, baby. Yeah, that's the date. The first in-season tournament game for us this year will be against Milwaukee. Yeah, we'll go right to it right away. I mean, this kind of happened last year. They made us play Boston in the first in-season tournament game last year, and we went to that game. That was the first ever in-season tournament game played by the Toronto Raptors, and I went to that game with Tommy Dookie and the Saborin brothers. And yeah, in some ways, they're going to put us against the top team in our group. I don't know who the top team is, though. I could argue that maybe Indiana might be the better team in our group over Milwaukee. We're going to have to see how Milwaukee has changed from last year. They may be just as in disarray as they were at the end of the season last year. So we'll have to see. In some ways, Indiana's kind of has got their shit together better than the Bucks. So yeah, but we'll be playing the Milwaukee Bucks on November the 12th, the first in-season tournament game in Milwaukee on their home court. Yeah, Monique is in the house. Superfan Mo. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. And in-season tournament is going to be I don't want to say it this way. You know, Monique, I don't want to do this because there's war and there's bloodbaths in real life. And there's really disgusting violence and horrible things happening. And that descriptor is just, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't want to say there's a bloodbath because there's literally bloodbaths going in wars in the Ukraine and Israel right now. And it's just not appropriate. It's not appropriate verbiage. So we will be ready. We can't wait. Yeah, there's going to be a battle. I like how you've been saying we've been battling. I like that way better than the image of a bloodbath. That just is not attractive. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, I can't wait either. And I know you're very, very happy to know that the schedule's coming out on Thursday at around 3 p.m. And then you can get your life together for the next year. I know I'm the same way. I'll get my calendar out and I'll immediately write it all in. And who knows, when the schedule comes out, I'll have to go over it really closely and kind of talk about the dates that kind of stand out to me. Maybe I can see where the NBA is being manipulative with their schedule and see what they're doing kind of difficult for the Raptors. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I can't wait for it to come out either. It's gonna be fun. Tommy's got Monique on blast, and we're going buck hunting. That's what he's saying right there. He's got the bullseye, and he's got the little Bambies running around out there. And there's a plate. There's a plate right there, and the sunglasses. The future's so bright. I see what you're doing there, Tommy. I see what you're doing there. Good morning, and he's saying good morning to me in Serbian. Dobro jutro. Utro. Yes, of course. Darko has another Dove men's care clip out with the Raptors. I hadn't watched it yet, but I know that the messages are pretty much about men's mental health and trying to keep things good, stuff like that. There you go. Most saying also the fact that Omari is so young, the future is really bright. Yeah, I want to see him get more and more progress in different ways. And in some ways, I would like to see him get called up to the Raptors at some point. In some ways, I'd like to see him get an NBA dream, even if it's just for a game or two on a 10-day contract. In some ways, that's something special because, Marquise only played one game in the NBA, but he can say he played in the NBA. And that's a big deal to Marquise Noel. Well, I want Omari Moore to be able to say that also. And in some ways, I was hoping that he would be one of the guys called up at the end of the season when everybody was hurt, but it didn't happen for him. It didn't happen for him. He was one of the ones I was saying, we need to call him up. We need to call him up. Trevor J saying they're saying that Orlando Magic should sign Dennis Schroeder because he has good chemistry with the other two brothers on the team. I know we talked about this, Trevor. Yeah, I know you're cycling news sometimes. We did. I talked about this like about 10 days ago, or so. I was like near the end of the Olympics. I guess it was last week. We said, yeah. Somebody said on Twitter, somebody should get Dennis on Orlando because of the chemistry with the Wagners. We said this. It's all right, Trevor. But there's a lot of recycling in some ways. He will not be going there, though, because Jordy's going to want him in Brooklyn, I believe. So there's some news about Jordy we should talk about with this because there's confusion. And Jonathan Chen is overreacting. I'm going to say this. Jonathan Chen is amazing, a person who covers Canada basketball. And he's done a really good job. He really knows his stuff. But I think he's wrong on this one. He overreacted yesterday to the news from Michael Bartlett. First of all, there's a very good article on Sportsnet from yesterday, Michael Grange, talking to Michael Bartlett, the head of Team Canada basketball, and going over how he felt about how this Olympics went with the three different basketball teams representing Canada and how they did. And basically what Michael Bartlett said, and this is so true because in some ways he did set this up. It's his fault. He said basically in a press conference earlier this summer, if y'all remember, him and Rowan Barrett Sr. were very adamant they just want to win gold. And they kept saying it. They're like, we're not going there to just get a medal. We're going there to win gold. And they really put a high expectation around it. Now, in some ways, I get his logic behind doing that. You want to aim for the very top. And in some ways, if he came out and said, we want to get silver, or we want to get bronze, it wouldn't hit hard enough. So in some ways, he amped this all up earlier this summer, saying we're gold or bust, in kind of way like an NBA fan would say, it's championship or bust. And it kind of screwed up because like the Canada did not even get to the medal round. And then everybody was like really feeling like it was a huge failure. Well, now the Team Canada heads are kind of saying, you know what? This is not a failure, guys. We've grown. We've gotten further and further in the Olympic quest. And in some ways, everybody getting upset because Canada getting the medal round and didn't do something like I told them that we would. I'm sorry for bringing your expectations up too high. It's basically kind of what he said yesterday. I mean, I get it. In some ways, you got to go for the top. Why do it at all? But in some ways, this is why everybody's expectations were so high, partly because the heads of the Canada basketball were saying, yeah, we want to get gold. This baby steps. In some ways, this may take a little while. It may be that next time we are getting a bronze, and then, down the road, maybe we do compete for a gold. But baby steps with the Olympic team. Michael Bartlett also talking about Jordy. And this is where Jonathan got confused. In some ways, Jonathan, you understand this, right? That it's an Olympic cycle. And when the Olympics are over, there's a lull. There's a period of time where there's nothing really to do with the senior men's basketball team. and that, people can go on their other parts of their lives. And well, Jordy is the brand new coach of the Brooklyn Nets, and he's got to set up a whole new system, new coaching staff, new program, new everything for that team. And he has to go full on it. So, Michael Bartlett basically said, we're going to go ahead and let Jordy just go focus on Brooklyn, and we'll reconvene with him later and see where things are at that point. Jonathan's making it sound like it's up in the air whether Jordy's going to be our coach later or not. I don't think that's what Michael Bartlett's saying. What he's saying is it's obvious that he needs to go and take care of his NBA responsibilities, and that he's not really going to be bugged by us for things for Team Canada, because, to be honest, Team Canada at that level, senior men's, they don't really do anything until almost the FIBA World Cup. So, there'll be check-ins maybe in the offseason next year. But anybody who thinks that Jordy's not going to be our coach at Canada, you're crazy. He's going to be the coach still. Why wouldn't he? It's a prestigious job. It's an up and rising job that's going to have more and more success in the future. He's not a turncoat going to the Philadelphia 76ers all of a sudden, where it's awkward. I mean, he is on the Nets. I get it. But this was something that happened organically afterwards, and it doesn't really seem like it is a conflict. I think that people that are snap judging that Jordy Fernandez is not going to continue to be the Team Canada men's basketball coach are doing exactly that. That in some ways it's in his best interest. It's prestigious, and there's nothing broken with it. I think that they were very happy with the job he did, but also at the same time, who knows? Things could happen and change. And in some ways, there may need to be a new coach at some point. But I wouldn't just say, yeah, it looks like Jordy's probably not going to be the coach again, or it's in doubt or anything. I don't think that's true. I think it's just we're on pause. We're on a break, a natural break. And this guy has so much on his plate with Brooklyn that he just has to go and do that. And then when it's kind of calmed down, maybe after the season's over with Brooklyn, so he's not so in the middle of it. Yeah, Michael Bartlett touched base with him and said, Jordy, we really like what you did with Team Canada last year, and we want to continue with you. I just feel like people overreact too much with just a couple of verbiage. And really, what does Team Canada senior men's do in the next 2 years? Seriously, it's all the under teams that play, and those have other coaches. So Jordy, yeah, it's an overreaction by Jonathan Chen, is what I'm going to say right there. Yeah. Cowboys got Mo on blast. I love it. Seymour saying, ta-da, what's popping, Raptor Freaks? All right, this guy's like the hype man for Bradley. Seymour Pape. He wants me to do the Bradley starting as low as $89. You can get your tile and grout clean, guys. Is your bathroom moldy, like with weird like stuff in the crevices of your grout? Ooh, gross. Maybe you don't want to get in there and scrub it out. You know what? Bradley will, though. If you call him at 647-833-6844, he'll get that grout cleaned up. Real nice, real pretty. That's right. There you go. Sheriff, Dap and Sheriff. Let's love to see that. And Cool Cat's checking in. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Good morning to Cool Cat, one of the greatest Raptor Freaks. Coach Cool Cat, we love you. Cowboy saying Chef Darko is going to be cooking. Yeah, cooking. Well, he's got that skillet out with this new era of Raptors. Great job, Masai. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be fun. I only imagine what's going on in Spain right now, in the sanctuary in Malaga. What is going on with those guys right now? It's not a Rico run. Is there other NBA players there playing with them? No, they're probably just interscrimmaging between each other on the court, the Raptors, Scotty and crew. Yeah, wow, man, if I could just be a mouse in the corner watching what's going on with the Raptors in practice right now. That'd be so fun. It's like going to open practice, like coach's open house when we went last year. It'd be so fun to see what they're working on and see what kind of people are working with who, and see how some of the players have improved. Ooh, I can only imagine what's going on in the sanctuary, the NBA Players Association sanctuary in Malaga, Spain this week. Yeah, I can only imagine. Cowboys saying, how old is Amari? I don't know. Let me go look at this. I thought he was around 25. I'm not totally sure if he is as young as Monique might think. I think he's 23. Okay, so he's 23. He'll be 24 in September, guys. Let me put him on the birthday calendar just in case. Is going to be 24 on September the 18th. So I want to make sure Amari's on there. I don't know if he is. I'm going to go ahead and do it because I didn't really do the all the G League players. So we're going to put Amari Moore on the birthday sheet. So there you go. There you go, Amari. You're on there. And wait, you were born in 2000. That's right. Okay, so I'll make sure we get it. So he's going to be 24 on September the 18th. So there you go. All right, there you go. There you go. Yeah, Amari is young. That is young for a player. And yeah, he could still do some stuff. Yeah, Tommy's saying he's 23 too. There you go. He went and checked. That's awesome. Cowboy saying respect. Keep it up, Omari. Yeah. I really think his wingspan is one of the talent, the natural gifts that he has that will get him the NBA. The fact that he's very good with swiping and stealing. You know, there was often times where he'd steal a ball and he'd get breakaway dunks on 905 last season. So, and he's not bad from three. That's the other thing about Omari. He can, if he's dialed in, he can hit some threes. There were a few games last season where he got around 20 points and he did get some scoring going. So there is offensive potential with him, along with a very, very attractive wingspan, is what I'm saying right here. Yeah, Tommy's saying that 14 players have signed NBA contracts following a CBL season. This is a great factoid. And numerous CBL players attend NBA G League training camps every year. The CBL season runs from May through August. So yeah, that's really a lot of it right there, because they know these guys want to go and try and make the big league, the NBA, and the G League is the way there. So they need to go try and make training camp rosters for NBA teams and G League teams. So yeah, that's perfect. That is perfect. And I love the stats, Tommy. Thank you so much for giving me some information here. I'm gonna give Tommy a dunk real quick for providing statistics and also the age of Omari really quickly. 3-pointer, 120 for Tom Duke. You're at 120 dunks, Tommy. All right, let's see what else he's saying. Hoping Omari is the 15th and worthy. We have to see this. You know, the Raptors training camp roster is going to evolve, and we'll have to see how it works. It may not be that Omari's at the training camp. It could very well be summer league, but we need to get guys that are more apropos to possibly make the big squad right from the start of the season. You know, people like Bruno Fernando. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. There's still some moves that Bobby and Masai are going to do to flesh out our training camp roster still, because there's a spot open and there's money to be spent still. Yeah, we have to see. Brian's saying, what's up, Freak Nation? Glad to be here. All right. What's up, King? Y'all check out To The Point, a great YouTube channel on Raptors basketball. He's got a latest piece out on RJ Barrett, our guy Star J. Yes, Star J. I hope you only said good things about him, Brian. Dap to Brian from Cowboy also. David is here. David's saying, I got to run, so I won't be here for the classic card. Also, my bad yesterday. I forgot to add the classic card to the total, up to date. Otherwise, I'll watch the end of the stream from yesterday to find it. Okay, yeah. I believe Amit got the classic card. It was Ken Norman, and it was 50 points. Yeah, David, I'm getting that rhythm of just taking care of those things every single day. Like you do it and just a rhythm. And then you don't forget, because this is something I'm worried about with you. I want you to keep on top of the scoring, because I'm not doing it and I'm not auditing it. And I don't know if you're accurately scoring our trivia season. And so it's on you, my guy. You got to get it. You got to get it. Tommy's saying, yeah, good to have you, King. Yeah, man. I like that Brian's here checking in with us every day. A learned basketball head, knows a lot. He's a coach. Brian does know a lot about basketball, and having him in the brain trust of the Raptor Freak Nation is very welcome. Very, very welcome. Isaac's got me on blast. I love it. Roger Raymond has come into our chat. Good to see you, Roger. It's been a little bit. My good friend, Roger, a great Raptor Freak. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good to see you, Roger. Always good to see you come back in the chat and visit us sometimes. You know what? Listen, I'm going to give you a dunk, Roger. I believe you are on the list somewhere. Let me see. Where is Roger? No, he's not. I'm going to get Roger a dunk for showing up for the first time. I love it. Yeah, Roger Raymond. All right, here we go. We get you got the Grady Dick #1, man. You got the Grady Dick one. You could be a Tracy McGrady one too if you want. Roger that, Roger. There you go. There you go. All right, let's see what else is going on. Tommy's saying good morning to Roger too. Cool Cat saying, I love the closely aligned networked CBL with NBA. It makes the league more popular in North America. I just like that they're considerate of the seasons so that these young men that play in the CBL have opportunities to get to the G League, and if not the NBA. So this is really good stuff. Yeah, the partnership is there. And you know what? This is great for Canada basketball. CBL has been fantastic because in some ways we can't have an NBA team in every single Canadian city, but we can have CEBL teams in big major Canadian cities. And that's the fun of it, is the growth goes to places like Winnipeg when there are teams in those communities. And in some ways, that helps inspire more people to pick up the basketball and start playing. And then, boom, that helps our senior men's and women's basketball teams. So, yeah, It all helps each other, and the CBL is absolutely a great part of the whole mechanism of basketball in Canada at this point because it's getting a semi-pro or actually, I should just say it's a professional level of basketball being played in those communities and teams that these communities can get behind and root and start histories with. So, man, whoever's been started the CBL in the last few years and gotten this thing going, kudos to you. I appreciate you. And I'm gonna have to do a share the love for the CBL at some point for sure. For sure. For sure. Tommy's saying, I like the idea of figuring out a good Canadian candidate for Canada's head coach. Jordy is great, though. Doesn't really matter, but why not if possible? Well, I would say this, Tommy. Canadian coaches are not the creme de la creme in basketball. This is part of the problem. I mean, there are good Canadian coaches. Like Gordon Hebert is a Canadian coach, technically. But I mean, we want a very good coach for Team Canada. In some ways, it has to be apropos to the NBA talent that Team Canada has on its men's team. So, I mean, Nick Nurse was fantastic until the bullshit that happened. And Jordy is fantastic still. But I really am telling you, I don't think that we're going to switch the coach. I think that they were just saying basically, we need to let Jordy go and be the coach of the Brooklyn Nets. We're not going to bug him, and then we'll revisit with him later. It's not like they said he's done. He's not going to be the coach anymore. They're just saying that he needs to go and coach the Nets, and we're not going to bug him while he's doing that. They were so kind and nice to let him coach us in the Olympics that, we got to turn the other favor and let him go and take care of things for the Nets at this point. So we could give it some time. And like I said, this may not be something that gets talked about again on this channel until next summer. That there may be a revisiting of this. If there's any kind of weird news that says Jordy Fernandez out as Team Canada coach, yeah, we're going to talk about it, but I don't think that's happening. And I don't think there's a suitable Canadian replacement, Tommy, sadly. It could be that the wave of greatness in basketball comes from the players, and then the players get old enough to be coaches. And then we start getting really good Canadian coaches because the really good Canadian players that came through from the Air Canada effect or the championship in 2019, it's all in its right order. So I don't know if we developed enough high level Canadian coaches to do this. So that's what I would say to this. Past Team Canada coaches, have been people like Jay Triano. He's fantastic. And he is an assistant coach in the NBA. There's Leo Routens has been the coach of Team Canada for a little bit, but he's more of a broadcaster. So we've got to think about what would be possible for Canadians coaching. Like, who would be the Canadian guy that would coach this team? Maybe Gordon Hebert comes and coaches our team after Germany. That would be interesting because since he's very familiar, I mean, he's a FIBA gold medal winner, champion for last summer with Germany, and he is Canadian. So who knows? And he's out with Germany. So I don't know. Maybe that's something that happened. I don't know. But I think we keep Jordy. There's nothing wrong with Jordy. And I'm not really, wanting to speculate the next coach after him because there's no reason right now. Monique's saying, thanks for clarifying in reference to Jordy. Yeah, I don't know why Jonathan's raising the alarm bell with this. He says it's up in the air. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. As Michael Bartlett said, we need to let Jordy go do his other job, and we're going to leave him alone. And he will be back. Trust me. Like, seriously, who wouldn't want to coach SGA, Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, and that team? Seriously, it's a privilege. It's not like it's annoying. It's not like you're coaching the Detroit Pistons, Monty Williams. It's a dream job because, honestly, he looked real good with stepping into Nick Nurse's shoes last year and winning like a bronze at the FIBA World Cup. That was a huge achievement for Canada basketball. In some ways, Jordy could be considered maybe one of the greatest coaches of Canada national team ever already. And he's barely been the coach a year. So, I mean, the prestige and the fun and the challenge of it is something that will bring him back from his side. And if Bartlett and Rowan Barrett are like, no, he's been awesome, we want him back, I don't see where there's going to be an issue here. I don't see where there's going to be an issue here. I think Jonathan's just a little bit overreacting. Yeah, a Cowboy's saying Raptors are doing the Spain runs. Yeah, they're Spain practice, training camp, early training camp, just them. And obviously it's okay. In the past, we've wondered whether teams getting together in the offseason is breaking NBA rules. Well, they're in the NBA Players Association building. And in some ways, that may be why they're allowed to do this. And maybe if they went to like a Spanish guy like Mark Gasol, let's say Mark Gasol say, hey, Raptors, I love you guys. I'm a champion with you. Come into my personal gym and I will pay to have you guys play here. That might get him in trouble. But because it's in the NBA Players Association new facility, and in some ways the NBA probably invited them to come there because they're like, hey, we have a new international facility in Spain we want to use. Hey, Raptors, do you want to come there first? And Darko's like, I love to. In some ways, I'm thinking about this more. This adventure in Spain right now is very much going to bond our guys. In some ways, it's interesting to go to the training camp in Victoria. No offense, Tommy. It's interesting to go to a training camp somewhere else in Canada or Rico runs, but it's so exquisite and different to go to one in Spain. In some ways, that's the kind of thing that the Raptors will have a memory of forever for their whole lives. And someone's like, yeah, that training camp when we did Spain and Malaga, that was so fun, man. We were tourists and we were just walking around having a good time and eating such good food and going to the beach and playing basketball. Man, what a great summer. I'm telling you, that's the stuff that's happening right now with them. In some ways, Darko wanted to do shit like this last summer, but he just had to get his shit together to get the team ready for the season. It was like thrown together so quickly. He's like getting time. And he's like, I could totally see this. Darko's like, yeah, listen, if we get the guys somewhere fun and it's really cool and they will bond and they will want to play better for each other. I know Rajakovic is saying this right now. Seriously, seriously. So it all makes sense. The memories that are made by these young men this time right now are going to last and they will bond them. Seriously, I'm going to tell you that right now. That's the cool thing about it right there. Wayne's saying we're in the same group as the Bucks and Pacers, playing former players, same as the conference. Kind of strange to see former players so often against us. No excuses, Lex. Team Canada was a fail. Yeah. See, Wayne is going to say this, and I mean, I won't disagree, but we got railroaded to the fail, and in some ways, it wasn't their fault. I will say this. All right, I want to parse this out because Wayne's got a lot in his comment here, and I want to make sure I do this right. Yeah, okay, so you're saying Gary Trent Jr. and Pascal. We're in the same group with them. Maybe that is part of the NBA marketing. I think that once again, they do this randomly. And if it just so happens that there's natural matchups that make sense or interesting, like Dallas is in the same group with Golden State. Yeah. And that means Clay versus Steph and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm sure if they can get those kind of things together, they will. I don't mind our group. I kind of really like our group. I think I'm glad we don't have other Atlantic Division teams in our group. Seriously. Last year, that really hurt us in some ways, having Brooklyn and Boston in our group with us. So I like this group. In some ways, Milwaukee is not the top. They're the top team in our group, but they're honestly not as good as they look. And Indiana may be very close to them. I mean, sure, it's drama. Pascal versus the Raptors in the in-season tournament a year after he played for them in the in-season tournament. Sure. Gary Trent Jr., I don't know if that's as much of a storyline, but it may be interesting. I don't know. Is Gary going to kill us? I don't know. Gary could just have plantar fasciitis still, and he still can't play like he's supposed to. We don't know. I'm happy with this in-season tournament group, and the schedule doesn't seem too crazy. In some ways, they're all spaced out. The games are spaced out pretty good this time. And it's not too off or weird from the other teams. In fact, having Detroit in the group with us, obviously they're the bottom feeder between everybody. Some people will say, oh, Detroit's going to be better than Toronto this year. You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy if you think Detroit's going to be better than Toronto this year. You're absolutely nuts is what I'll say right there. All right. Now, the last part about Canada, Team Canada being a fail, it's all perspective, Wayne. And I respect your opinions and stuff like that. But I'm going to say you're wrong on this. Because, listen, we didn't make the Olympics since 2000. And maybe Michael Bartlett sold this Olympic gold dream to us and is hyping up for pre-Olympics, trying to say, yeah, we're not just trying to do this. We're trying to go for the gold. And, well, that bit him in the ass because he raised expectations too high for people like us, and they didn't get there. Now, I get it, but we have to understand men's basketball globally is one of the most competitive things in the world. If not for the U.S. being the juggernaut at the top that dominates, everything else is competitive. As far as the European teams, Australia, there's just so many good teams in FIBA at this point that you're lucky if you're getting to there. And like Michael Bartlett said, in some ways, we're the fifth best team in the world right now. We didn't get to the medal round, but if you really look at the teams that just missed getting to the medal round, we're the top team. And we could honestly say we're the fifth best team in the world right now. Now, where were we like 2 years ago? We were like 15th or something like that. So all progress. And yes, it is a failure that we didn't medal. And I really did want to medal too. And in some ways, I felt the failure that you're talking about. But in hindsight, looking at it now, thinking at it a little bit more, I'm like, you know what? This is progress. Orrin Weisfeld's right. We don't need to be holding our heads and thinking that was an absolute failure. This is progress, and steps are being made towards the right direction. And that's the thing we need to remember. Seymour saying, if Celtics played the U.S. national team for the world chip, who you got, Lex? The Celtics versus the team, the Avengers. That's what they're calling them. It's like we got the Dream Team, the Redeem Team, and these guys want to be the Avengers. And they came out with a whole cartoon thing with all them as different Avengers from Marvel. It was pretty hilarious. Joel was the Hulk. It was really silly. But no, the Avengers would absolutely mop the floor with the Celtics. They would. They would. Yeah, it would be fun actually to watch. And we'd have to tell Drew and Derek and Jason to go and play on the Celtics. You don't even get to play on that team. And we'll replace them with 3 guys that could have been on the Avengers instead. And they will absolutely mop the floor with Tatum and his team. Yeah, they would get their ass beat. What are you talking about? That's Chef Curry and Durant and LeBron against the Celtics. Yeah, they'll beat them. They'll beat them. That's a great question, though. I love that. I love that question. That's really cool, Seymour. Roger's saying Team Canada basketball had a rough quarter against the host team. They wouldn't have to be flawless to overcome that. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, some people don't believe me when I say this. You know, some people just don't believe in ref hit jobs. They say, oh, no, the refs are always fair. They're just so good and official. Bullshit. There are times where they turn it on and they turn it off. Hit jobs. We know we're Raptors fans. And in some ways, I know a hit job when I see one. And there was a hit job in the first quarter of the game against France Tuesdays ago or something like that. Yeah, it's messed up, man. What can you do? What can you do? You just, it is what it is. In some ways, the young men like SGA, Jamal Murray, they got to understand this is what it's like. And we need to be that much more to overcome this and to be able to win in these FIBA games where there may not be help. There may be officials very much trying to stop you. So if they're like USA, they can be overly talented and overcome all that. Because in some ways, the USA does do that. They do overcome a lot of stuff with their talent. Well, Canada can do this too. And they just need to realize how much they have to go above and beyond to do it. In some ways, they were too casual and they were not thinking that this was going to happen in the right. They didn't get in the right mindset to deal with a punch to the face by the French team right off the bat. And they didn't recover exactly right. They could have beat them by the end of the game, but they got messed up in the first quarter and put in a hole right away. Yeah, it's tough, man. Cowboy saying F the Celtics. I'll get down with that. I'll get down with that. Cowboy, you want a dunk just for saying F the Celtics this morning? I'll do that. I will give you a dunk for just that. That's enough for me. That's enough for me right there. 89 for you, my guy. 89. What a great year. There you go. And Seymour's seconding that. All right, Seymour, you want one too? You're going to piggyback on that too. You can get a dunk too. 115. 115 for the Sheriff Seymour Pape, holding it down in Calgary, Alberta, Canada for us. That's right. Tommy's saying 100%, Cowboy, 100%. And Tommy's laughing about it too. Let's see. Cowboy's saying Team Canada did a great job. We want to win the gold in the States. Let's go. Yeah, he's saying he wants to win it in Los Angeles. Well, let's think about this, Cowboy. If the home team advantage was there for France, just imagine what it's going to be like for USA then. They don't even care about FIBA at this point. Anthony Edwards coming out publicly in the last couple of days saying, yeah, I'm not going to play for USA at FIBA World Cup again. Yeah, I didn't like that. It wasn't as fun as playing for USA at the Olympics and winning. Yeah, you're losing and failing and not medaling at FIBA World Cup last summer. You felt that humiliation. You never want to feel it again, so you don't even want to go back. What a loser. Anthony Edwards, if I were you, I'd have unfinished business at the FIBA World Cup. And I'd be like, yeah, I want to come back and win with the USA on it. But they don't care because they're already qualified for the Los Angeles games because they're having the games in their host country. It doesn't even matter that they're high enough on the FIBA ranking that they probably get it or they didn't need to do any qualifying because they're just hosting it. It's the same thing with France this time. France didn't have to qualify for the Olympics this time. They just got in naturally because they're hosting it. Yeah, so it's just that kind of crap. Mischief's here. Good to see the baseman, Big J. Good to see you, man. I wonder who's going to step up from all the rookies we got this year. Well, they're going to come on different schedules, is what I'm going to say. right now. I mean, if you ask me, and you got them all in a line there, I love to see it. You got them all right there. If you ask me who's most NBA ready to help us right away, oh, man, it's tough to say. I would say Shamshe's going to help us right away, but he's going to be so raw and he's going to make so many mistakes. Think Koloko in his rookie year. There's going to be a bit of that, a lot of fouls and a lot of awkwardness, maybe some weird turnovers, maybe some physical issues with somebody else where he's getting in a fight with someone because he's so strong and so quick, and he may surprise some people and they get frustrated, like Caleb Martin did with Koloko. Yeah, I could see that happening to Shamshe this year. As far as Carlson comes in and starts bombing threes and blocking shots right away. He could help us right away. He could help us right away. Now, he may not help us on defense. He may be a defensive liability, to be honest. But if he can block some shots and get some threes, he may very well be one of the guys who actually does help us right away. So we'll see. Shed is going to be running that 905 team, but he is going to get called up, and we'll have to see how he does on the NBA level. In some ways, I wasn't impressed with his offensive game at Summer League. In some ways, I was very impressed with his tenacity, his leadership, his dog. But in some ways, his offensive game was not good. And that may keep Shed out of helping the Raptors in his first year too much. He may need to really work on his game down on 905, leading the team down there. I really think that's what's going to happen. Jacoby Walter. Now, he has a chance to get on the main squad and do big things right away. If I was going to pick anybody on those rookies, obviously the first round pick, number 19, Jacoby Walter, may be the most ready to help the Raptors right away. It depends on whether he can get his shots to go in. If he can get his shots to go in, then he can be very helpful and get a lot of minutes because he's got a lot of good defensive chops. And he is a very talented scorer. So if he can translate that to the NBA level at any kind of successful way, he's the one who will probably get the most minutes on the main squad. So, yeah. And Jomo is going to be a mix of everything. We're going to see Jomo come in for Raptors. He's going to go to 905. He's going to do a little bit of all kinds of different stuff. And he will do the same thing on the court, too. Now, I don't know how much he's going to get to play compared to like maybe Walter or even Carlson. I think that if I'm going to rank these guys for impact on the main squad, Walter first, Carlson second, and then maybe Shamshe third, Mobo fourth, and then Shed. I don't know, but I could be completely wrong on that. It could very well be Shed is way more helpful on the Raptors level than I realize, and Mobo may have a huge part. But I'm thinking Mobo might be utility stashed at the end of the bench, break in case emergency. You need more rebounding or wingspan. You want to play him with Scotty just for fun, that kind of thing. Brian's saying, you guys should watch the last video since I shouted out Lex and the Raptor Freak Nations multiple times. There you go. Brian's always saying, my freaks. He's like Big Papa Pump. He's like, and what up to Freak Nation? He calls us Freak Nation. It's cool, Brian. I love that you put me on blast. I'll do the same for you, my guy. I will. Andrew's saying, good morning, y'all. Only 53 days until Raptors basketball. There you go. Andrew's got the countdown this summer. I love it, Raptor Freak Andrew. 53 days. All right. Count them down. You're like just speaking Monique's love language right there. 53 days. That's it. That doesn't seem like a long time, does it? That doesn't seem like a long time at all. Somebody's celebrating right now. I love it. Roger's saying, thanks for the dunk. No problem, man. Anytime. I hope you can come back and be here more often. I know that everybody has different schedules. And if you watch me on off time, I appreciate y'all, even if you're not one of the active live Raptor Freaks here. I know Raptor Freaks can be not live and watching me at other times, like Paul B and other great Raptor Freaks that watch me at other times, like Sue. And yeah, Roger, I appreciate you, man. And yeah, no problem at all, my guy. And if you do watch me not live, 1.5 speed is fantastic to get through the 2 hours quick. Cowboy wants an alley-oop for Brian. Sure, we can do that. Let's do an alley-oop for Brian. Where is Brian? Brian's on here. There's Brian right there. He's getting his 12th dunk. You got 12 dunks, Brian. Good stuff. All right, let's see. Wayne is saying also, nonsense, Roger. That game did not require perfection. Mental preparation is always the critical ingredient. Team Canada is not deficient in talent or cohesion. Playing against the home team is mental. You know, I'm gonna agree with both you guys. In some ways, all right, I get what Roger's trying to say as far as playing perfect. In some ways, they did need to play perfect because they had 8 on 5. And the referees are going to call every nitpicky little physical thing they do with their hands. And in some ways, they did that. They did that. They may have even imagined stuff that didn't even happen, and they called it. Dylan Brooks getting hit with those fouls early. Now, but I also see what Wayne's saying. I think that they fucked up because they came into the game not mentally prepared. That they should have understood that crowd is going to be crazy. They're going to be totally pro France, obviously, because you're in France. And that the refs are, you should have understood this. I think that they didn't understand how much the refs were going to be biased. And in some ways, they needed to come in like it's a playoff game at a very high level in the NBA. And they didn't come in with that energy, unfortunately. So I think that both of you guys are right. I think that in some ways it's just semantics of how you're saying it. Roger's saying they had to be perfect. Well, that meant they couldn't foul at all because the refs were going to call it no matter if it was a touch foul or anything like that. And Wayne's right. They didn't show up with the right mental attitude to come in there. And they do have all the talent in the world that they could have beat them. They could have beat them. And honestly, they were on their way to beat them by the end of this game. That if they had, if it had been a 48-minute game like an NBA game instead of a 40-minute game, Canada overcomes them in the last 8 minutes that aren't on the clock and beats them. Seriously, they had all the momentum coming back in the second half, and they were threatening to come back and steal that game a couple times. But once again, the refs will hold them down a little bit and make a little bit of a call that's dismaying or kind of makes you feel like, oh man, I wish we'd, they can very much make you frustrated, especially if they're unfair and they're doing really crazy shit. That's part of the mental game that you have to be like, nah, I just got to keep playing. That's not fair. And you can get all mad about it and get yourself out of the game, and then you mess up on a couple more plays after that. No, that's the way we know as Raptor fans. We've told these Raptor guys, you can't argue with the refs because of bullshit. You have to keep playing because you will compound the problems into further and further bad turnovers or bad things happening on the court because you're distracted because you got mad. It's a crazy discipline thing that you have to do in basketball these days. It's just to take it and shut up. But you know what? Go put your effort in on the court in the winning way that helps your team get back at that. All that. Yeah, it's a very nasty thing they do. It's a mental thing, seriously. Because we're all naturally want fairness. We want it to be down the line. And when it doesn't happen that way, you get outrage. You get kind of like and it's a very justified outrage. But in some ways, you have to train yourself not to get the justified outrage. You just need to keep going. I've seen RJ Barrett's very good at this. There's times where he could get completely angry at certain stuff, but he doesn't care. He just keeps playing the next play. And that's what most NBA players need to, or players of any basketball. If you get that skill, you'll go far because you're mentally tough. Yeah, Cowboys got Shamshay on blast. He's saying Shamshay or Shed, the base man, probably all of them. This is who he thinks going to be big time for the Raptors. In some ways, everybody's so enamored with Shamshay right now, and we're forgetting about Walter. There's more we need to think about with Jacoby. I'm serious, y'all. Let's not overlook our first round pick. He's something, and we're going to see it. We're going to see it down the road, guys. Watch. Wayne's saying, Raptor freaks, local talent does not mean high-level talent. Jordy has performed well as a coach. Can only see him getting better in future tournaments. I know that Wayne has been a big proponent on this channel about not just getting guys because they're Canadian. I know that I've been very big on Canadian content for the Raptors, and it's been successful. Having a Kelly Olynyk or RJ Barrett around is good stuff. But Wayne says, no, let's not just get guys just because they're Canadian. And I'm going to agree with him on this one. I don't know of very many superstar, young, uprising Canadian coaches in the ranks right now. There may be ones out there I'm just oblivious to. But in some ways, I'm with Wayne on this. We don't need to just get a guy who's Canadian to coach this team. And in some ways, because Jordy does not coach the Raptors, there's not any dirty, weird crap that could happen like what happened with his predecessor. So I just like to keep them separated. And somebody would say, well, why don't we let Darko coach our Canadian team? No. We learned a lesson here already. Come on, guys. And Jordy's fantastic. And I'm like I said, I don't think there's anything going to change with our coach. Jordy's going to be coaching Team Canada at the Olympics in 2028. Watch. And I think everybody is kind of like, if they think that that's not going to happen, well, then other things happen and develop since then. But currently, the way I feel and the way I'm looking at the whole situation, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's the way I look at Jordy Fernandez as the head coach of Canada's men's team. So let's see. Roger's saying, good point, Wayne. Mental toughness is a huge part of the game. There you go. I like to see that. Yeah, it was such a huge part of that France game where we lost. And like I said, I saw Jamal Murray smiling too much. Like, I'm just at the Olympics, guys. No, don't come like that kid from Kitchener. No, you needed to come with your game face, your poker face, like a killer. Like you were coming to be the nuclear option. Well, we didn't come for pop rocks, bro. We came for a nuclear bomb. And you came with a pop rock attitude. Hey, let's have fun, guys. You see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I only want real ones on Team Canada. Real ones like RJ Barrett, real ones that are coming in like Eye of the Tiger and at the highest level compete. And that's why I was very suspicious of Andrew Wiggins coming to our team. And I'm glad he didn't make it because I was like, I don't think he's going to come with that kind of energy like that. Because, first of all, he's been sidelining on the Golden State Warriors for a couple years now. And for a good reason. I'm not going to say it's not a good reason why he's doing it. But like I had the same concerns about Jamal. I was like, Jamal, are you going to come and take this seriously? Because this is important. And if you don't, it's going to hurt us, is what I'm going to say right there. Yeah. Wayne's saying, not afraid of our in-season grouping. I am. Yeah, I'm not either. It'll be fun. It's better. Just trust me. It's better. And I'm excited about it. Hopefully we'll get a clean refereeing because in some ways, the first year they did it, they railroaded us to losses in 2 of our in-season games. The Boston Celtics game was a railroaded loss, and so was the Nets game. You think we should have lost to the Nets in the in-season tournament last year? No, we should have beat them. Ed Malloy himself railroaded us to a loss against the Brooklyn Nets in the in-season tournament last year. So in some ways, without the Atlantic Division opponents against us, I feel better about getting a fairly reffed game, especially against teams like Milwaukee and Indiana, who aren't really NBA darlings that they care about propping up or helping. You know, I look at the in-season tournament schedule and I see the Lakers have 3 out of their 4 games nationally televised. I know that's LeBron and Bronny show, but it's funny because the Celtics only got 1 game nationally televised in the in-season tournament. Well, Celtics, you got your championship. Why aren't they putting the champions on more nationally? That's a weird one right there. Yeah. Most saying the game on the 29th is really spaced out, though, Lex. What do you mean? What do you mean, Mo? They're within. All right, they do 2 games early in the season tournament, in-season tournament, and then 2 near the end, and that's really good because in some ways there's going to be a Friday and then a Tuesday where we play in-season tournament games. So we'll play our first one on a Friday, I believe, and then we'll have the weekend, and the second one will be the next Tuesday. Then we take 2 weeks off, and then we do it again, a Friday and then a Tuesday. So it's kind of like a pattern. And in some ways, there's a break in between them. And that's the space is in between the first 2 and the second 2. But it's a lot better than it was last year. Last year, if you remember, Mo, we didn't get to play an in-season tournament game until after everybody else had played one already. And we were like seeing everybody get their courts and do everything like that. And we had to wait. Now, I like to think that they wanted to save the best for last, because a lot of people did really think that our in-season tournament court was the nicest one. So you have to look at it with it because it flips the calendar from October to November and or November to December on the last part. And those are actually close to each other, the last 2. So Carlos saying, morning, fella freaks. What is the name of Brian's pod again? It's To the Point, but the 2 has dots in it like OG's name. So you got to put T period O period the point. In some ways, Brian, man, you got to get a better linkage because it is hard to search for your channel, and you might get better traffic if there's some change to that. I don't know if you need to get the setup HTML website address or something, because it is hard to find your channel. If somebody puts To the Point into YouTube, you don't coming up. And in some ways, this could be something that could fix you for traffic really quick, just so you know. Let's see. Nins is here. Nins, happy late birthday. It was your birthday on Sunday, and it was on the calendar, and we said happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Nins. Good to see you. Andrew saying, yeah, watch the streams before bed if I miss them in the morning. There you go. Yeah, you can watch them real quick and, at 1.5 speed. And you can still understand me. Even though I talk very fast, you can still hear it. Trevor J saying the WNBA is back tomorrow. That's right, guys. Thank you, Commissioner J. I got to remind y'all, if you're in our WNBA Fantasy League, you need to set your lineups for tomorrow. We're resuming play. And that means you, Commissioner of Trivia, David Saborin. I'm playing against him over a month because he's been in the matchup with me this whole time during the Olympics. And well, we have to finish up our week with Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday action. So 4 days of action coming up for the WNBA this week. And you know what? There's not many weeks left in the season. We're going to be in the playoffs soon. And pretty much most of the teams that have been figured out to be in the playoffs, the 8 teams out of the 10 that are going to go, are figured out. And it looks like it's probably going to be a couple teams that are going to be out are not going to get a chance to get in there for sure. Yeah. Cowboys saying top 8 easy. Yeah, Andrew's saying, what seed do you see Toronto finishing this year? Top 10, top 8? Cowboys says top 8 easy. I mean, I don't know. I really have to see the first part of the season. I'm not going to blindly say the Raptors are a play-in team or a playoff team this year because we really got to see what they're going to do. I'll know probably by the end of the in-season tournament if like our direction or how we're gelling or how we're going will look like we're going to make the play-in. But in some ways, once again, the thing that we're looking at for growth with the Raptors is win total. And last year was 25 wins, a very injured second half of the season. Well, we need to improve off of that. And in some ways, as I've said, if we get to 35 wins, that's fantastic. That's 10 more wins than we got last year. It may not mean we're in the playoffs, though. So it's all like with Team Canada, we got to gauge the success in certain ways that's fair to the teams. And I would say, man, if we get 42 wins and we are a above 500 team, we're in the playoffs. And we have done really well with our win total. That's possible. So I don't want to limit us, but I also want to be realistic. And some people have really accused me of being overly optimistic and like gauging the Raptors too high. And this year, I'm trying to be a little bit more grounded because we are in a rebuild. And I don't want to sell things like Michael Bartlett did about Team Canada. I'm saying, yeah, guys, we're going to be champions. Woo! No, I want to be realistic is what I'm trying to do here. And in some ways, I don't know. I have no idea. It could be really special, Jay and Scott. It could be really, really special, guys. I have no idea what it's going to be like with Jay Nathan and SB4. It could be very special. Let's just put it that way. And Shamshay, we have no idea what this guy could provide right off the bat for us in some ways. It could be very interesting, especially with Darko using them. So we'll have to see. Cowboy says top 8 easy. I think that's true. Now, can we start talking about, I don't know. That means we're in the playoffs. Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem. Butt dial in the house. If given the same role as Draymond Green, I think Jonathan Mobo will have the greatest impact for the Raptors as a rookie this year. F the Celtics, just fishing for a dunk. You saw that there were dunks given out for saying F the Celtics, and he's trying to get on that. You don't need that. Come on, Dunk Champ. You don't need that. I think it's interesting that you want to compare Mobo to Draymond Green. I hate Draymond. I don't want anybody on our team like Draymond. In some ways, I get it. The physical, the stuff like that. In some ways, I want to compare Mobo to Scotty. In some ways, he's a less talented, not as a crazy all-NBA, all-star like kind of guy like Scotty, but on a different level. I've compared Ron Harper Jr. to Scotty in the past. I said Ron Harper Jr. has kind of got the skill set that Scotty has, but on a lesser level. I think that Mobo's the same way, except Mobo's taller than Ron Harper Jr., and he has a better wingspan in certain ways that it may be that he's able to do more than RHJ. So, man, I don't know. In some ways, I see Mobo being Scotty. Seriously, he's a lot like Scotty. He's going to be passing. He's going to be rebounding. He's going to be blocking shots. He's going to steal the ball. He's going to he may not take a whole lot of shots, though. It may be that they're not encouraging him to take shots. And it's more that he's out there just doing all the dirty work, running around, being physical, like I said, rebounding and blocking shots and finding other guys because he does have a passing acumen. So it's interesting. When people compared Scotty to Draymond Green, it pissed me off. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph. Blessings to Randolph Phillips. Morning blessings, beloved Raptor freaks. Most informative gang. We will fail when we fail to try. It's better to try and fail than to fail to try. Yeah, once again, I'm going to say this, the same thing that I said to Trevor at the beginning. Listen, let's say that whatever your accomplishments or things that your goals are your own and not like as long as like I'm not doing this for this at my job or something like that. In some ways, I would say this. You can go out there and accomplish amazing things, but do it on your own agenda. is what I would say right there. Yeah, yeah. Alley oop to Kareem. All right, you really want to give him the rich get richer? All right, we'll give another dunk to Kareem. Not that he needs it, but yeah, yeah. He really, in some ways, he's got to really earn them, man. He's such in a stratosphere. 233 that in some ways I can't just give him an alley oop from you, Cowboy, because you're just throwing it up there. I want the goods. I want the well crafted jokes. I want the jokes, man. Let's see. Kareem's saying off topic, but my hang on. All right, this is probably gonna be good. This may be actually a dunk here. Let's see. Off topic, but my wife made an egg salad sandwich for lunch. If I toot, I may have to pull the fire alarm. I'll keep y'all posted. This is like the most basic of comedy. This is toilet humor. And in some ways, he's telling you know what it is? Kareem's using realistic. This is probably all true. He's using real life humor, and it really does hit me here. It really does. Now, this is flatulent humor, and in some ways, this is very low form humor. But you know what? I'm gonna say that the preemptive alley oop from Cowboy is for this. I'm gonna say it's for this. Yeah, and the Cowboy's like, stop, stop, please, pause, pause, pause. What did you say? Pause. What did you say? Seriously, pause. Wayne's saying two things I'm sure of. Jordy is the right coach for Team Canada. Boom goes the dynamite. I like that. And Team Canada is a top 3 basketball nation. Most of our top players are not used to referee hit jobs. Raptor freaks know this. This may be partly true, although it's the youngsters that don't know the hit jobs. The older players do. Kelly Olynyk, Kem Birch, Melvin Ejim, RJ Barrett probably knows about hit jobs already too. But yeah, some of those other guys that are younger, maybe Nebhard and Jamal Murray, they don't necessarily know hit jobs. I mean, Denver's had very good success the last couple of years. I don't know how often they're screwed over. I mean, they have been screwed over in the playoffs in different years, but having Jokic around kind of makes up for a lot of that. But yeah, I think that Wayne's right on point here. Jordy is the right coach for our team. I'll agree with that completely. And I think that we are a top 3 basketball nation, and we're just on the rise. And we're going to take our rightful place more and more as time comes up. So, yeah, I think that's right. Cowboy's saying just keep the lighter out of your pocket. So, Cowboy, now that gets a dunk. That gets a dunk because that's hilarious. Just keep your lighter out of your pocket, egg salad man. Please. Please. It's for the safety of everyone around you. Please. All right. 90 dunks for Cowboy. Oh, Cowboy, you're funny. Alley oop to Wayne. All right. Yeah, we'll give Wayne an alley oop for believing in Jordy Fernandez. I do too. I mean, I think that raising the alarm about Jordy and him being our coach was silly. Silly. Why are you doing that? There's no reason to do that. We're in a totally different mode now. We're going into the NBA year now. And Jordy's a coach of the Nets. He's got to go do the things he's got to do. He put it off to go be with Canada, and thank you, because he could have been doing that stuff for a couple months already. But no, he was helping our Team Canada team out. That shows a dedication right there, that he just didn't up and leave just because, oh, I got the Brooklyn Nets job, guys. See, sorry. You know, we had that happen 2 summers in a row right before FIBA World Cup and the Olympics. That would be awful. So, yeah, 69 dunks for Wayne Strainer. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah, let's see. Smooth's here. Good to see Smooth. Patty Mills to Utah. 1 year, $3 million. Okay, breaking news. Patty Mills was one of the more better free agents still available out in the pool. And now he has been picked up by Utah at $3 million for 1 year. Beautiful stuff, Smooth. Beautiful stuff. That's good stuff right there. Thank you for the breaking news. Kareem saying alley-oop to Neon Moon. Sorry, I half-assed the moon. Well, in some ways, that makes sense because the moon is an ass. It's right. When you moon someone, it's an ass, right? So, yeah. All right, we'll give Cowboy another dunk real quick. Yeah, the moon, ass, butt dial. That's all the same motif, right? That's all cheeky. It's very cheeky. 91 for Cowboy now. 91. There you go. Monique saying, gotcha now. She's probably talking about the Jordy stuff and the other stuff we've been talking about today, figuring things out. Stargate saying the NBA doesn't like Jaylen Brown. Look for the sports media to start attacking him with nonsensical negative narratives. I am with you on this, Stargate. In some ways, listen, you know what he did this week is fantastic. Jaylen Brown, you're a hero. I hate the Celtics, but I love Jaylen Brown. In some ways, I like him partly because of what Stargate just said. The machine hates him. In some ways, you being a rebel against the NBA and standing for what you stand for, Jaylen Brown, makes a Raptor fan a fan of you. And I love that you're the finals MVP. I love that you won that. And in some ways, that just kind of sticks in the craw of Jason Tatum. In some ways, I really do want you to get all the accolades in Boston because I do really feel like you are the one who's the winner between you guys. You're more efficient than Jason. You just are. Well, what did Jalen do this week? He went to somewhere with Jason Kidd, coach of the Dallas Mavericks, and they opened up Black Wall Street. They're investing like millions of dollars in the Black community to entrepreneurship. And in some ways, that is so awesome and amazing. I applaud Jaylen Brown for this. And yeah, he's outspoken like Kyrie. In some ways, he is in the ilk of Kyrie Irving, a little bit of an annoyance to the NBA because of his politics. And yeah, I think Stargate's exactly right. In some ways, the NBA wants to market the people that will play ball. And the ones that don't play ball with them on certain things, well, they will try and ignore them. And Jaylen Brown is a badass because he's a top level player in this league. And he doesn't care. He's going to do what he does as a humanitarian and a person that he wants to do what he does, whether they like it or not. And he can say whatever he wants about Grant Hill and getting snubbed by the team, Olympic team. I'm with you, Jalen. You're a badass, and you keep doing what you're doing. And I think you're right, Stargate. We should pay attention to how the NBA treats Jaylen Brown going forward. They over heavily try and put Jason Tatum in the front face of the Boston Celtics, but in some ways, it's all along been Jaylen Brown's team, is what I would say right there. So yeah, kudos to Jaylen Brown and even to Jason Kidd, who I historically absolutely abhor and hate. Well, I'm going to give you some points, J Kidd, for pairing up with Jaylen Brown on your recent thing that you did there. Yeah, I could see this. They're going to make up some bullshit. There's going to be all kinds of weird stuff that they say about Jaylen Brown, and it'll be similar to Kyrie, guys. It will be. Now, I don't think that he's as controversial as Kyrie. He may believe some of the stuff that Kyrie believes, but he's not out here promoting anti-Semitic books or anything like that. So, Carlos saying, yeah, searching for to the point, and I'm seeing rap songs. Yeah, just a little help here, Brian. So he wants you to say, put YouTube search Skip and the King. Skip used to be Brian's co-host, who they're not working together all the time anymore. He shows up sometimes still. Yeah, but put the quotations. Yeah, I would say, seriously, Brian, you may get more traffic and more subs if you fix this, because in some ways you got to test out how people search for you. And if you're not coming up, that could be a problem. So I know you like the T.O. You might want to consider switching everything to just to the point and just like, I don't know how you do it exactly. But Stargate saying the NBA wants to have Jason Tatum as the face of the Boston Celtics, not Jaylen Brown. That is true right there. That is true right there. Carlo has subscribed to the point with Brian and his guests, Coach Roach and the crew. Yeah, Coach Roach is awesome. He's my favorite guest that Brian has regularly on his show. And I'm supposed to be on his show at some point. Brian, I want to come in and do your show by the end of August. Well, I'm still busy till Sunday, but, after Sunday, maybe there's going to be a time where I can come in and do a segment with you. We'll have to figure out what we should do. Maybe we should wait till September, and I'll do a training camp update with you. And we'll come in and we'll talk about what's going on in training camp with the Raptors. I think that might be a good content for you. Yeah. Cowboy saying, when I searched up Brian I searched the to the point, to dot. Yeah, there you go. And Cowboy saying, Kareem, keep being you, bro. I agree. Keep being you, butt dial. We love you, man. Carlos saying that has anyone seen that BGR8 private runs with Scotty and Chris? Yeah. The ball don't stop. The private runs here in Toronto they had that. Chris keeps posting them on his Instagram like crazy. In some ways, I'm wondering, is Chris in Spain right now? Chris, put a Spain Instagram story out, please, Chris. Please, Chris, check in Spain, please. Actually, let's go look at the Instagram stories real quick right now, because there's an interesting post by Grady that I want to talk about real quick. First of all, we got Yesurski Scotty. He's showing that sideways. You got to turn your head to see the water, the beautiful coast of the beach. It looks like Scotty's got a lower floor hotel room where he's right off the beach, and you can just walk through the gate and go right on the sand. That's beautiful, Scott. Beautiful, beautiful scenery in Malaga, Spain, where the Raptors, and there he is on the coast too. He's got Scotty's with a DJ. I'm not sure if that's his friend, Nardo or something like that. I don't think so. It's no friend of his. It's just a DJ guy, and Scotty just wanted to take a picture with him. Now, Scott, I'm worried, man. You got this new Kalani grill that you've been wearing. It's all diamond studded. It's crazy, crazy blinged out. But your teeth look weird. Like, I know that you got your teeth fixed, but your mouth looks weird. Like, if you wear that thing too much, it could mess your mouth up. So just wear it for fun sometimes. But don't wear that grill all the time, because I'm worried about your teeth and your mouth. And it looks like you got something going on there with your mouth right now in your latest Instagram stories, just so you know. Instagram, Julius Randle is sending tagging Emmanuel Quickly on a Bruce Lee shirt, and it's saying Dragon, and it's Bruce Lee, and it's like, and I think it's like Julius is saying almost time. It's almost that time, Emmanuel Quickly. So it's like, is that what he does? Is like at the beginning of the season, does Emmanuel do like a martial arts like hype up thing, kind of like a haka dance for New Zealand? He's like, like he's ready to do kung fu or something like that. I don't know. That seems to be what they're saying between Julius Randle and Emmanuel Quickly. Right there. Precious What If Unlimited camp is on blast in his hometown of Port Harcourt City. So he's getting ready this morning for that. Lloyd is putting on blast a San Francisco 49er for something. I don't know what that's about. Let's see. Gary Trent Sr. has a contest, guys. Do you want to be coached by Gary Trent Sr.? You can get coached by him. He has a little thing where he's going to pick somebody, and he'll be your coach for a day, and you'll get that treatment that Gary Trent Jr. got, and the youngsters get too right now. So if you want to get in on that Gary Trent Sr. coaching, he actually has a thing where he says he's going to coach someone just for fun, a stranger. So that's kind of cool that Gary's doing that. He's out riding around in the car in the sunshine. He's also cooking some chicken wings, getting some help from the youngsters. I'm sure that food was good. Getting those chicken wings nice and seasoned and washed. Yeah. And then Gary's also saying, here's his words of wisdom from Gary Trent Sr. today: heal. So when others attempt to love you, you will let them. That's a beautiful, beautiful words of wisdom, Gary Trent Sr. I love that. That's so good. Paul Jones is saying au revoir to Paris. Next up, LA 2028. Paul Jones having a fantastic Olympic experience as a tourist. I don't even think he was working while he was over there. He was just there as a tourist at the Olympics for fun. Did he do any broadcasting while he was there? I don't know. Maybe he was on CBC or somewhere. I didn't see him because I didn't watch it. But yeah, Paul Jones being an Olympic tourist was fantastic. Matt Devlin is putting on blast our in-season tournament schedule. He's saying all the way from, it's good. Here, he's already practicing his call in text on his Instagram stories. Now, it's interesting. This clip, this thing that the Raptors put out is a picture of Scotty yelling in the white and red Raptors jersey, but there's a patch of Vince Carter over it. There's a 15 purple patched thing, and everybody's going silly on Instagram. All y'all crazy young fans that want the purple rebrand back, y'all shut up. Seriously, just stop. Just stop, purple rebrand people. We will visit it for anniversary. Y'all that want a full Raptors rebrand motif with purple all 100% of the time, no, y'all are crazy. Just shut up. Seriously. You show your youth and inexperience when you start saying this purple rebrand. Just stop. Red is our color. It's not purple. And y'all wanted to go to the past. No, we don't want to do that. We will celebrate our 30th anniversary with purple. But anybody who wants purple to be our full-time main color, y'all are idiots. Seriously, just stop. It's ugly. I'm going to say it just straight up. The Raptors jerseys were ugly back in the day. And I don't want to go back to that time. We can do it a couple games this season, but that's it. And all y'all need to shut up. Purple rebrand. Quit teasing us. I'm going to go and riot if we don't get a purple rebrand. This is the kind of bullshit these people are saying. I don't even know if these are real fans, if they're just like style people. They're like, I just love purple. That's why I want it. And they're just like crying out for it. Just stop, please. Just stop. Omari Moore showing him hugging his teammates when he won with the Niagara team, the CEBL Championship. Legend. There you go, River Lions. Winning your CEBL Championship is so fire. And I love to see the joy in Omari Moore's life right now. Jamal Shed has got some. He always posts other people. I don't know who they are. In some ways, it's hard for me to do Jamal Shed's Instagram because I don't know who these people are, Jamal. You have a lot of friends. Let's see who else we got. There's the Raptors with the in-season tournament schedule on their Instagram stories. And also they've got the ad with Michael Imperioli and Rosario Dawson talking about the rules for the in-season tournament and the gambling and the casino and that vibe of Las Vegas, that bullshit. Yeah, fixed games, fixed casinos, fixed NBA games. LA winning the in-season tournament. Yeah, fixed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Norman Powell, more clips of his camp that he's done recently. He's also on a stat for highest catch and shoot field goal percentage. He's up there with some of the best. He's beating Steph Curry and LeBron James and Paul George on this list. Grayson Allen, the second, and he's number one, 73.6, highest catch and shoot if efficiency field goal percentage. That is Norman Powell. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Why is this guy not getting sixth man of the year? Seriously, NBA. What the hell? Norman Powell should have been a sixth man of the year by now. Seriously. Grady Dick. All right, here's the one I'm talking about. Grady Dick, about 24 hours ago, took a picture of the Raptors team entering a town square in Malaga. It's the center of Malaga, and there's an amazing little tent thing with some art on it. It's very beautiful. But if you scan and look ahead of Grady in the Instagram story, you can see Jakob Poeltl walking next to Darko, and other team members are there too. I can't tell who all them are by their backs. I think Jamison Battles in one corner. That looks like him with the red hair on the right. Is that Chris Boucher in front of him? Because that kind of looks like that could be Chris, and that he is there. Yeah, I'm trying to identify Raptors by their backs, because they're on Grady's Instagram story. If you go look at it, you can tell that's Jakob for sure, and Darko's standing next to him. So yeah, you go and investigate it. I think I see Jamison Battle and maybe Chris Boucher in that group of people walking into the Spanish Square. Shamshe's enjoying anime in his Spanish hotel room. Get out there and be a tourist, Ulrich. It could very well be that Ulrich Shamshe did not know about anime until recently, and that he's just like really into it. He's like, this is cool. How did I not know about this? Well, you're a farmer. You're out in the middle of nowhere. Did you even have a television? Well, there's a whole new world for Shamshe, and it looks like he's an anime fan, guys. So yeah, he's got the anime on in the hotel room. You should be out walking in the square with everybody else. Pascal's putting on blast his camp, his 43 camp back in Cameroon. And the thing that's bugging about the images that I'm seeing from his camp is he's giving all these kids Indiana Pacers headbands. Oh, no, don't do this, Pascal. He's trying to make youngsters over there get into the Pacers, and they're going to be their favorite team. Oh, I love the Pacers and Pascal Siakam. He's from Cameroon. I know he used to have this effect for Canada, for the Raptors. And now it's like, oh no, he's giving Pacers headbands to the young kids. No, Siakam, no. It is what it is. He's going to do what he's going to do. He's got to show he's true blue to his team now in Indiana. It's too bad. But yeah, seeing the kids with the Indiana Pacers headbands on, I'm like, what are you doing? One kid has it upside down. You're my guy. You put the Indiana Pacers logo on upside down on your head. You're a cool guy. You're a cool kid. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, the Basketball Skills Academy for Siakam and Achua going on over in the continent of Africa right now, baby. And that's it. That's your Instagram stories for today. Yeah. Go and identify who you think that is in Grady's Instagram. Who do you think the backs of those Raptors are walking into that square in Spain? I know Poeltl's one of them, and I'm pretty sure I see Chris there too. Yeah. Let's see. All right, Wayne's comment next. Regarding our next season, I'm looking forward to seeing improved consistency in shooting. Shooting and assists are the categories we need to be deadly in execution. Those stats give you 8 to 15 games of wins, is what he's saying. Yeah, I'm with you on this. Wayne. I think that shooting has been a woe that the Raptors organization has had a problem the last couple of years. And relying on certain shooters like Malachi Flynn and Gary Trent Jr. To help us that are so streaky has been a real problem. We really do need that money kind of shooting that is skill-oriented from a lot of reps. And I'm not saying those guys didn't have reps. It's just it didn't show up in the game. And that's why I have a lot of promise in Grady Dick. The Grady Dick has got to be just that automatic and unflappable, and just consistently making threes on a very consistent basis. I think he's got the chops to do this. And he may very well be the lightning rod to measure this by, Wayne. But I agree with you. And of course, Darko values the assists so much. He wants our guys to get so many assists, he can donate more money to these hospitals. So yeah, 25 assists per game. I want to see the Raptors get 25 at least every single game. That's that benchmark watermark that I say, and maybe 30 at some point. I'll be like, the Raptors need to get 30 per game when they're really playing at a high level. But 25 is the number I'm acceptable for me right now. There you go. Trevor's saying, Lex, I watched Serge Ibaka's championship run in Europe. He is so good still. Yeah, I think that Serge, I've said this recently, has done a really good job of preserving his body over his whole entire NBA career. He is similar to LeBron in that way, that both of them have stayed very strong and well. Now, he's a little bit not in the NBA caliber, obviously, because he kind of fell out between the Clippers and the Bucks in the last couple of years. But honestly, in Europe, you can play longer because the game is a little bit slower. And as long as he's still strong, healthy, and he feels good, yeah, he can play at a high level there. I've even speculated recently the man could play until he's 50. If he really wants to play in Europe for a long time, he could rack up all kinds of championships and play till he's like 50 because he's that good at taking care of his body and health. And he really does really, really good nutrition and really, really good workout kind of schedule and stuff. So Serge is a badass. And that does not surprise me that he still looks really, really good in Germany and winning this German championship recently. And now he's going to go to Spain and play for Real Madrid. So he's going to an even harder league to challenge himself even more. Because I know in some ways he'd be in the NBA if somebody wanted him still. And he's sad about it. But you know what? He can go to Europe and make a bunch of money over there and still get his competitive juices going as far as I want to play somebody and beat them and play basketball. Yeah, we love Serge Ibaka. Thank you, Trevor, for bringing that up. Mo's saying Casey Bannerman leaked something yesterday in reference to the Raptors. Yeah, he leaked some sort of Air Canada purple front, black back jersey, Vince Carter circa era. Obviously, he's going to come out with stuff to celebrate the 30th anniversary with the Raptors this season. And Vince is going to get celebrated this year. So there will be Casey Bannerman, Vince Carter tie-in stuff, I'm sure, all season long. It could very well be right around the 25th anniversary of Vince's dunk contest in Oakland that Casey's coming out with a very fire jersey that commemorates some of those dunks, those iconic dunks that Air Canada Carter threw down to make his legend so huge. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a tease. And it says Canada across the jersey. It's a old purple front black back jersey. And it has Canada across it with the little letters Air in the middle. Is what it looks like right there. Yeah. Andrew's saying, surprise, Fultz hasn't been picked up. The Nets really picked up Killian Hayes over him. There's a lot of different people that are getting picked up over other people that has been surprising, for sure. For sure. And that is kind of weird. That is kind of weird, Andrew. I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with Markelle Fultz that people are just like, yeah, we don't want you or something like that. Why wouldn't Orlando keep him? It seemed like he was doing better. There was a weird ambiguity between him and Cole Anthony for a while there, because Cole Anthony seemed like the point guard of the future for the Magic, but then it gets sullied with Jalen Suggs. You know, they could kind of say, you know, in some ways we could play somebody else at point guard that isn't even a guard. You know, is Franz able to play point guard or Paulo? I don't know. In some ways, Orlando decided that we don't need Fultz, which is weird to me. And, you know, Fultz has been such a weird player in his career, coming from being drafted by the Sixers, fumbled there, and then kind of getting his career back on track with Orlando. And now he's in no man's land in the free agency pool and not on anybody's team. There's something there, maybe that has to do with his personality. Let's see. Randolph saying, Lex, free agent guard. Patty Mills has agreed to a 1-year 3-point. Yeah, that was broken already. Thank you, though, Randolph. Smooth Brown Man getting the scoop on you. I'm sorry. He outwoged you, Shams. If y'all want to play this like breaking news stuff, well, whoever gets in there first is going to get it. And unfortunately, Smooth Brown Man got it today because he told me this about 20 minutes ago. Kareem's saying, Kareem, if David told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? Absolutely. I love playing bridge. Where's David? I want to do the classic card. This is so weird. Like, are you talking to yourself, Kareem? I don't get this totally. All right, we're going to give Kareem a dunk for this because it's silly. He made a bridge joke, and I'm sure bridge people will love that. 234, Kareem. All right, yeah, you want to do the classic card. I was going to wait until I got to the end of the chat so I could just conveniently do it right at the end since David's not here to judge it anyway. Cowboys laughing. Cool Cat saying, Lex, laugh out loud. The Pacers give him money for his camp. He has to have their branding. Laugh out loud. It was the Raptors before. Well, I know also it would look weird if he showed up and gave all the kids Raptors gear at this point. But to me, it's just in some ways I get this whole thing that Masai's doing over there is really good for our team. And in some ways, I'm sure there's some Cameroonian kids over there. They're like, I love the Sixers because of Joel. I'm like, oh well, what are you doing with your life, Cameroonian kid? What's wrong with you? But the other ones are like Shamshay, who say, I always love the Raptors because I like Pascal Siakam and I watch them. And Masai, the president, is such a good man. That's what I want more of coming from that continent, obviously. Because, yeah, Africa's coming in the world of basketball. And, well, I'd like them to be more Raptors fans coming out of there. And these little kids get shaped to be Pacers fans. I mean, you understand. I'm joking. It's funny because you're laughing too. But it's also kind of like I'm kind of being serious too. Brian said, Lex, I penciled you in for a season preview with a panel including Coach just for you, brother. Awesome. So you're going to put me on with Coach Roach? Fantastic. That'd be a lot of fun. And that sounds perfect, Brian. That sounds perfect. Season preview with Coach Roach. Yeah. I'm loving it. I'll be there. I promise. I'll be there. Yeah. Cowboy saying, alley-oop to Brian. Let's grow. Yeah, all right. We'll give King some more love here. Let's see. Where's Brian on the dunk list? All right. You got the 13 now, the Doug Christie 13, Brian. You're a Doug Christie 13. There you go. Andrew saying, hopefully Grady's jumper is more consistent this year. Well, I want to say this. Listen, Grady was unflappable last season. He had everything go wrong in the first half of the season, and he still managed to be a badass by the end of it. In some ways, he's just a different breed. He has a very short memory, and I'm expecting his jumper to be consistent. I am. Because, well, the thing with Grady is this summer, he's putting on weight and muscle on his body. He's going to come back. He's going to look stronger. And we all know that the problem with jump shooters with putting on weight is they have to recalibrate their shot according to the new muscle mass and the new strength they have. So we've had this happen before where guys come back all muscle bound, but they can't shoot worth shit because they haven't been used to it. Well, hopefully Grady's consistently been keeping his shot online while he's building mass. And that'll be the thing that may be the toughest thing to overcome. Now, the other stuff, the mental stuff, the game stuff, he's amazing because he got thrown into the starting lineup for a lot of the last part of the season, and he was excelling even when the rest of the team was failing. There were a lot of games where we looked really bad out there, but Grady didn't. And so I'm really thinking good things that are going to be coming from young Grady Dick this season coming up. Seriously, I think he's going to be. I think he has a consistency to his shot that just perforates out into the rest of how he plays. His shot, the way he does it, because of the way his mom taught him, it is a big reason why he's going to be consistent right there. Seymour's saying 100% about that. Yeah, Andrew's saying, I'm very high on Grady. 6'7" with an elite jump shot. In theory, a smart cutter, underrated playmaker, sneaky athleticism. Only thing is he's a weak defender and gets bullied easily. Well, that's the thing he's going to shore up with getting strength. And the other thing about Grady, you say he's 6'7". Well, he could be 7 foot almost soon. We got to remember, Grady's only 20. And some players grow still until they're like 21. And there is a possibility that Grady could be getting closer to 7 foot by the time he's done growing. And just think about it that way. How about that? In some ways, that was what was attractive about getting him when we drafted him. It's like he has the ability to grow his body bigger and taller still. So he could end up being like 6'9", 6'10" by the time he's done growing. And that's another thing that's pretty awesome. Yeah, most saying W stream, W vibes. All right, she's got my cutoff. Keep at it always, Lex. Good times approaching. Good times are here. I'm not going to say they're almost here. They're already here. Let's just enjoy the now and the fun, the anticipation of the NBA season that we're going to get in the future very, very soon. Kareem saying Serge extended his playing career because he feasts off of bull's testicles and snake eyes. I mean, he is eating cricket tea on the regular, probably. Who knows? Maybe he's eating placentas of some animal or something. I know that's really gross what I just said, but who knows? I think that Serge just has a really good workout system. He really pampers himself. We know his legendary skincare routine that makes the team bus very late. Well, he takes care of himself. So if he takes care of himself, well, he's taking care of his body physically. He'll have longevity to continue to play. Not to mention that he has really great genes and really good natural body of strength in his body already. Yeah, he's got all the right things. He's got the right healthy kind of body already, and he's doing the right things to feed it and keep it strong. And that's the thing right there. Seymour's laughing about it. Yeah, Fiercey saying, "Good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. Good morning to you, Eye Candy from Seymour." She is in Jamaica, y'all. She's at a wedding for one of her best friends, and she will be in Jamaica this week, checking in with us from the islands there. So happy to see Fiercey in the morning. Let's see. Cowboys got Masai on blast. He knows what he's doing. The Raptors are back, baby. Bench mob, baby. That's what we're talking about, Cowboy. Bench mob. That's right. Yeah. Cut off at 10. I don't know. I mean, most just being nice. In some ways, as long as I get done in 2 hours, it's good. It's good. Let's see. Hi to Seymour and Kareem saying, I feel like Grady constantly running and cutting will give the starting lineup another injection of youth movement. Well, once again, that's the one spot in the starting lineup that's up for grabs. And if I was Darko, make it real competitive. You want to make it competitive to make the team in training camp. You have an open spot on the roster that isn't guaranteed yet. Well, somebody can try and go get that brass ring, like a Jamison Battle or an Omari Moore or a Bruno Fernando. Well, do the same thing on the team. You know, we know Scott, IQ, RJ, and Jakob will start, but who's going to start at 2? Is it going to be Grady? Is it going to be Jacoby? Yeah, that's what I would say right there. Could it be Davion Mitchell? Because Davion Mitchell just adds a new element of defense on point of attack that is really, really attractive. I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not ready to just give the starting job to Grady Dick. He's going to have to earn it at training camp. And we'll see it in preseason games and see where he's at with the shot and how he's playing. And it could very well be that's part of how he decides it. Is Darko's like, you're playing at a very high level, Grady. You're getting to start the season. Or maybe he's like, Jacoby, you have been so good so far already. We'd like to start you right away. I don't know who's going to start. And I won't say right away that Grady's got that job already. In some ways, he's very attractive off the bench as a shooter off the bench to help us and get scoring off the bench. So I don't know who's going to start at 2. I really, really don't. And there could be a whole new person that just gets added at the last minute. And they're an overwhelmingly top talent. There's even Bruce Brown should be in this conversation as a veteran, as a guy who's an NBA champion, that, you know, Bruce Brown could end up being the starting shooting guard for us this season. So we got to keep everything kind of open as far as possibilities. You want to alley-oop to Miss MJ? Yeah, we can do that. Where's Fiercey on here? We're going to give an alley-oop to Fiercey, enjoying her Jamaican vacation and getaway. 178 for Fiercey. She's number 2 on the dunk list. That's right. Cowboys saying later, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Have a blessed day. Got to go back to work. All right, guy. All right. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I know. I had the jarring feeling too when I saw the Pacers headband. I'm like, Raptors in Africa is exclusive. Laugh out loud. The pain keeps on giving on my end. Ugh. Well, you know what? We should just be happy. Your guy is so happy. We know Siakam is very, very happy. And in some ways, his success on the Pacers is still our success, just like Masai's success. So I can't get mad about this. In some ways, I'm glad it's a team that I respect and I actually do like. I mean, I don't hate the Pacers. The Pacers are a team that I like to root for. I don't mind rooting for them. They've got good personalities on that team. I've always been a big Miles Turner's fan. And, you know, Siakam being on the Pacers is okay for me. Now, I get a little about some of the other stuff like Lowry on Philadelphia, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And our guys are awesome. And we're proud of all our alumni, even if they're on teams that we hate, like the Sixers. So it's just how it is. Let's see. Fiercey saying, hi, Cowboy. Thank you, Trevor, for the WNBA reminder. I will set up my lineups today. There you go. Yeah, we needed this. The Commissioner of Fun is looking out for us and reminding us WNBA is going to be back tomorrow, and we need to get our lineup set up and get ready to be back in that world of running our fantasy teams. That's right. Trevor's saying, me and my people just waiting for the NBA schedules so we can get a jump on the tickets. See, Trevor's ready. He's got that Ric Flair jet flying, high profiling, styling, lifestyle. He's going to see that schedule, and he's going to be buying tickets all over NBA cities and trying to get to different. He's like, I'm going to be here on this at this point when I'm touring around with my work. And I will go to this game in Houston on this date, and I will go to this game in this city in New York on this date. This is what Trevor's going to be doing as soon as that schedule comes out tomorrow at 3:00, guys. That's when it's coming out. Cool Cat saying, I call them Canadian Pacers because we have so much Canadian affiliation there. I hope he retires a Raptor, man. You know, I could see Siakam doing this just like Lowry. He hasn't made the promise, but maybe near the end, maybe he does. I would love that. You sign for one day and retire a Raptor, just like Kyle Lowry's Siakam. Because in some ways, you're just as beloved. And once again, you're on my top 3 GOAT list. You're up there, man. It's you, DeMar, and Kyle. You're my top 3 greatest Raptors of all time. Siakam. Yeah. Yeah, he should do that. Yeah, I think I will go to the Indiana Pacers home game. You're going to go to Indiana, or are you going to go to a game when we play them? Oh, you're going to go to the game when we play them in the in-season tournament. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a good one. In some ways, it's interesting that we play the 2 tougher teams. Well, I don't know if Miami's tougher than Indiana. It kind of, Indiana is probably, they're equal to Milwaukee, and then Miami's next, and then us, and then Detroit. But yeah, the tough game is Milwaukee in Milwaukee, Miami in Miami. That's tough. Indiana here in Toronto. So we'll have to see how it goes. Andrew's saying, do you think they should retire Kyle's jersey before Vince's? Oh, yeah. I'm very much on the record for this. I don't think we should retire Vince's number. I really don't. I really, really do not think we should retire Vince Carter's jersey. I really am against it. I'm very against it. And if MLSE and Masai's office are listening to me, please do not retire Vince Carter's jersey. 15 is Amir Johnson's jersey. And I would rather retire 15 for Johnson than Carter. Because honestly, Amir is a good standing Raptor who didn't shit all over us after he left us. So I can't do this. They can put a statue out there for Vince, but not a jersey retirement. And Kyle Lowry should be the first Raptor to get his jersey retired. That is true right there. Yeah, Cool Cat saying, I will make a trip to Indiana for one of their games in this state. See it for myself. I also go to our alumni's retiring games. Very cool. That's awesome. Well, I know Cool Cat frequents a lot of Raptor games, and I like to hear that she's going to travel to Indiana and see Siakam play a home game there. That's very cool. You should. You're such a huge Siakam fan. And yeah, you want to go down there for us, the Raptor freaks, and make sure they're treating them right? That's right. Stargate saying this season will be very interesting for the Raptors. The development is what we should focus on. Yeah, all these championship or bust people that hung around the Raptors the last few years since the championship, y'all can go and watch other sports. If you don't like losing, well, maybe you'll go away for a while, and the real ones will hang around, and we'll have the fun of watching the Raptors intensely. And y'all can go be casuals and do your life and do other things. Go watch the Leafs more. Get into a hobby or something. I don't care. If you don't want to watch the Raptors because they're not a winning team, well, go ahead. We don't need you. We don't want you around. You can come back later, and we'll love to have more people on the bandwagon when we are back, baby, and we're successful and we're coming for that championship again. But everybody who can't take it, you go on and go. We don't need you. And the Raptor freaks will hold it down for you while you're gone. How about that? That's what I'll say right there. All right, let's do the classic card. All right, where's my box? Here we go. David is gone, so I'm adjudicating today. All right, let me read Smooth real quick. I remember how ugly the Vince divorce was. He took great pleasure in fucking the franchise after he left. Yeah, he did. I mean, I get it. You have the crowd booing you like crazy. You knew it would happen because you saw it happen to your cousin Tracy. But man, in some ways, this is how he was. I had this happen to me with him in college before he even came to play for the Raptors. I watched Vince on the baseline at a Florida State Seminoles game when I was a student at Florida State, and UNC came in to play us, and I jeered the hell out of Vince from the end line because I'm a Seminole fan, and he was UNC Tar Heels, and he was listening to me and my friend Scott talk trash to him, and he went off. He dunked on us. He made threes, and UNC won that game. So, yeah, he takes antagonization as fuel. And in some ways, that was part of the whole thing with the Raptors fans and him when he returned. But obviously, of course, we're mad at you, man, because you admitted that you didn't try for your last season on the Raptors. And the stats don't lie. That is exactly what you did. I mean, you admitted it. You said it outright. You could have lied and said, no, I was trying the whole time. I was just hurt on the down low. We wouldn't have known, but you didn't care. You disrespected Canada enough that you blatantly told the press, I didn't try to jump or dunk in the last year I was playing for the Raptors. That just shows a blatant disrespect for the fans and the people that paid for your tickets. And it just shows more about your character, Vince Carter, than anything else. And I'll stand on this. And the young fans don't have to understand what I'm saying because they weren't born or didn't see it or didn't feel it because they were like babies or not even born yet. I will tell y'all because I'm an old head and I'm going to be 50 next year. I'll tell you what happened. And Smooth Brown Man will tell you also. That's what I'll say right there. Yeah, Andrew's saying, if you don't love me at Thad Young starting center, then you don't deserve me at Scotty Barnes future MVP. That's funny, Andrew. I'm going to give you a dunk for that. If you don't love me at Thad Young starting in center, that's hilarious. All right, you got 16, my guy. 16 dunks for Andrew. That's good. Trevor's saying NBA us against us, Raptors family from east to west. Us against us, NBA us against us. What? I don't understand that. Stargate saying, wouldn't a player like I don't see it because it's under the like Amir be a perfect fit for this team today? You know, he would be great. In some ways, I appealed to Darko to hire him as a assistant coach for the team. He's been kind of more in coaching now. As far as G League Ignite, he was coaching and playing on that team actually. I don't know what Amir's doing exactly right now. There was an interview with him this summer where he's like kind of moving more into the coaching world, and I think that he would be awesome to have around on our coaching staff. Now his player type on our team, yeah, I mean, I don't know who would be that kind of player right now for us. I think Olenek's the closest thing to that on our team, or maybe Boucher. Boucher's kind of like a Amir Johnson kind of role on our team as an older player and a leader. All right, let's see. Okay, we'll do this one. This one's hard. This is a hard one. Let's see. All right, and Amit's not here, so let's see. He's a coach with the Clippers. Okay, so he's on the coaching staff of the Clippers right now. Thanks for that, Smooth. Trevor's saying Raptors against Raptors, every team. Okay, I think that's what you meant. All right, here you go. Here's the classic card of the day, guys. Don't half-ass me. I'm going to show it up real close because it's not who you guys think it is. Obviously, we see the team, and I might have to give you guys clues. Smooth is here, and he is very, very good at this game. So we're going to have to see if he knows who this is. Y'all don't put in the team and the number, please. Just try and get this off clues. In some ways, I'm going to get more and more anti research, and let's go off the top of our heads if we can. Yeah, it's a weird card because you can't really see him straight on. You see the side of his face, and you kind of see in some ways this is going to be hard. You know what? I might show you guys the back of the card, and that might be better, easier for you guys. So let me show you the back of the card. I'm going to cover up half of it, and I'm just showing you the part where you can see him. Okay, can you see him better there? I don't want you to see his name, so I'm trying to cover it up. The text. I don't know. You're saying Magic Johnson? That's not right. Is that Dana Barros? Dana Barros has been guessed a couple times. No, that's not Dana Barros. Yeah, let's get it up close there. Oh, there we go. Kareem got it. It is Anthony Peeler. Look at that. Good job, Kareem. Good job. You put 2 in there. That's fine. You said Tony Peeler. Did he ever go by Tony? I don't know, but Anthony Peeler is exactly right. Good job. I'm going to give you, you know what? I'm going to give you 200 points, Kareem. That's a big time one because, like, honestly, this is not easy. Who knows Anthony Peeler? Really, who knows Anthony Peeler? Yeah, screw that guy. Why? What did he do? What did Anthony Peeler do to you, man? What did he do to you? It's not Trevor Ariza. It was Anthony Peeler. All right, let me write it in real quick. Kareem getting the classic card today. All right, where's the classic card section? I should just do this afterwards, but I don't want to forget. That's part of it. We've been having problems with like forgetting who we did. Oh yeah, he's way behind on this. David, you got to update this. Seriously, you're not keeping up on your trivia duties. All right, here, we're going to put Kareem in 200, Anthony Peeler. That's the right one. Okay. Boom goes the dynamite. Perfect. All right. Let's keep going on the chat and see what else we got left to do today. Smooth saying the front was tough, man. Yeah, the front of the card was no good. It's like he's turned to the side, his arm's in the way. He looks taller than he is because of the angle shooting from down below. And the back did a good job. I think that's how he figured it out because that looks very much like Anthony Peeler there. Not that he was very well known, seriously. Andrew's saying that dude kind of looks like Karan Butler. Yeah, a shorter Karan Butler. Maybe his ears don't stick out as much as Karan Butler. But yeah. Antonio Harvey. Yeah. And on the front, it looked like Antonio Harvey because he looked tall and it looked like his face. And then, yeah, you know what? It does look like Antonio Harvey on the front. I wonder if they screwed up and they put Antonio Harvey on an Anthony Peeler card because that does look like Antonio Harvey. That's a really good, astute thing. Kareem saying, no, I just hated him because he played for the Grizzlies. That's right. Anthony Peeler was an original Grizzly. That's why you knew him from the Grizzlies. He was on those really bad teams over there. Boom goes the dynamite. Wow, we got really good knowledgeable Raptor freaks. Really, really knowledgeable. All right, let me see if there's anything I missed. Leo Routins is saying, guys, no point in stressing over something you can't change. Let it go, move on, and grow stronger. There you go. I love it, Leo. Leo's life tips, always a fun thing to check in on. We have a birthday today, guys. And our birthday today for August the 14th is, well, it's New York Nick, Jalen Harris, Paul B's favorite. It's his birthday today. He's 26, y'all. Jalen Harris turned 26 today. Of course, we know Jalen got in trouble with a drug charge and got suspended for a year while he was on the Raptors. And then he came back, and he's been around the Knicks organization for a couple years now on their G League team. So happy birthday to Paul B's favorite, Jalen Harris. It's actually his birthday today. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Andrew saying, didn't Steve Francis force his way out of Vancouver? He didn't even force his way out. He didn't report. He refused to report. He was drafted by the Grizzlies, and he said, no, I'm not doing this. And he strong-armed his way to go to the Rockets instead, is what happened there. Yeah, Steve Francis, in some ways, if you're looking at, like, they had the whole show, Who Killed WCW recently? Well, who killed the Vancouver Grizzlies? And if you want to give percentage points to people, sure, Stu Jackson's getting a certain percentage. The poor outcome with like the attendance and the people coming to support the team, you can put that in there. But Steve Francis gets a chunk of that too, for outright rejecting that team and it spiraling into like not existing anymore. So in some ways, you could say Steve Francis killed the Vancouver Grizzlies. You could say that. You could say that. That's not totally off base. And in that Grizzly Truth documentary, when he's interviewed, he does have regrets about how he acted at that time. And he kind of is like, yeah, I can see how what I did really impacted that team badly. Yeah. So he kind of, in some ways, he shows some regrets. And once again, these guys are so young when they come to the NBA. Sometimes they're just not mature and smart or worldly enough to understand the impact of some of the things they do. Yeah. Yeah. He could have saved Vancouver. In some ways, that's probably true. He could have been a Canadian hero, but in some ways, he didn't want to have anything to do with Canada. And that was the problem right there. Yeah. Yeah, Smooth saying, Andrew, yeah, he did. He said he would never play for Vancouver. He didn't even show up. And Smooth liked this at the time. I don't know if he did or not, because he was a Rockets fan. He's like, well, Steve Francis is going to be on the Rockets instead. Hey, play with Yao Ming. Hey, yeah, the Rockets gave up their bench for him. So they had to do a trade to do it. But yeah, he forced Stu Jackson to trade him. He said, I won't report. And they had to turn around and do a trade. And yeah, that because Smooth knows, because he's a Houston Rockets fan. He remembers the history. He remembers that history. All right, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to touch on. I didn't get my my tabs up right correctly this morning, so there may be some stuff that I didn't talk about that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't. But who cares? If it's something important, we'll talk about it tomorrow on the Thursday Think Tank. So come back and visit with me again tomorrow for another 2 hours or so. Thursday Think Tank, 9:30 a.m. You know the time. You know the place. Raptor Freak Channel, YouTube. Every morning with Lex, talking the Raptors news and stuff. In-season tournaments out. Let's go buck hunting. That's right, Tommy Duke. Get that buckshot out and let's shoot some bucks in the fall. We get that nice hunting weather season comes out, and we'll go buck hunting in the in-season tournament, my guy. Yeah, I'm all about that. Yeah. Smooth saying Michael Dickerson, Matt Maloney, and Antoine Carr and draft picks. That's everybody that they traded to go the other way. And Dickerson did show up and play for the Grizzlies. Yeah, former Arizona Wildcat with Miles Simon and Mike Bibby. Yeah, Mike Bibby ended up there too with them. Antoine Carr, an unheralded old NBA player that people don't talk about enough. And I remember Matt Maloney, Houston guy who used to shoot. Yeah. Trevor's saying he did not want to leave his family and not come into a foreign country. Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's just xenophobia. It's honestly, it's uneducated is basically what it is. It's sad because the education system in the United States sucks. And in some ways, they train people to be afraid of the rest of the world. And then, oh no, God forbid, you get drafted to a Canadian team and you're like, no, I can't go there. It's not that far. Vancouver's like across the border. And it's very similar to here, and all the weird fears that people have and whatever Steve Francis said was bullshit. In some ways, I get it. Some people are like, I want to be able to make my own history and like my own path. And, but the draft is a right, a privilege. It's not a right. It's a privilege. It's a right, like a RITE, not a right, RIGHT. It's a rite of passage. That to become an NBA player, you go through the draft most of the time. If you come undrafted, well, that's different. but you want to get drafted. And in some ways, it's an honor that a team selected you and wants you to go there. When you reject that team right out of the bat, in some ways, you're rejecting the whole idea that, oh, you're better than the NBA and you don't get sorted out in the way that it's always historically been done. It's a problem I have with it. So it's like you have a rite of passage, but you don't have a right to dictate where you land. Nah, maybe down the road when you get free agency, yeah, you get the right to go somewhere else. Yeah. But in some ways, he didn't even want to mess with that. And it's xenophobia, it's ignorance. And in some ways, it speaks to somebody who's not that intelligent, is what it is. When I say this about Steve Francis right now. Yeah, whatever his reasoning was, it's silly because he didn't have to leave his family. It's so dumb. Why is he thinking, oh, I got to leave my family? No, bring them up. They might really like Vancouver. Anyway, all right. On that note, y'all, thanks for watching me today. I'm almost about at 2 hours right away. I'm going to try and cut it off right at 2 hours. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, join. The membership has its privileges. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Team Canada. Let's go WNBA in Toronto. Let's go Raptor Freak family. Y'all are awesome. I love y'all so much. Let's go.